Howdy dowdy everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Unfictional Soundscape. I am your host and your producer, Author Man. The weather outside is very nice today. It's very clear skies. I'm actually back home right now, back in my hometown. I'm enjoying my time, I'm enjoying my spring break, quote unquote. You might be able to hear it, there's some birds chirping outside my window. So before we get into today's topic, I would like to discuss the standard operating procedure with the Unfictional Soundscape from now on. So I'm sure you've picked up on it, but I am going to be going for a more conversational, more lax approach to everything, not as scripted. So there's a couple reasons for this. There's three, actually. The first reason is it'll be less like my video content, which is always scripted. I don't really usually deviate from that. And this is a podcast. It's not a video. It's better to treat it like a podcast rather than treat it like a video. The second reason is I think it's easier to listen to. Not that I found the last week's episode to be hard to listen to or anything. I thought I did a fine job with it. It's just I think it's easier to listen to if I'm being down to earth with you rather than being, I don't know, up in the air, dramatic and such. My last reason for this is it's how my interviews are going to be. Very conversational, very lax, down to earth, chill. So that's how it'll be here. So now that we've got all the niceties and the introduction and all that crap out of the way, let's start with today's topic. I don't think I need to tell you about Marble Hornets. If you're listening to this podcast, you know what Marble Hornets is. You know that Marble Hornets inspired pretty much every modern unfiction piece and all the subgenres under that. Not every, there are exceptions, of course, but I mean, it kind of set the template. Now, I'm not saying that it was the first found footage thing ever. The first was technically The Connection back in 1969. I'm not even really saying it's the one that popularized the found footage genre. That absolutely goes to Blair Witch back in 1999. And it's not the first unfiction found footage piece either. That title goes to iChannel and Lonely Girl, both back in 2006. But Marble Hornets absolutely is the first that popularized the idea of found footage unfiction. And that has created the template for that type of unfiction as we know it today. And I would even go as far as to say that it's influenced ones that aren't really even focused on unfiction found footage. I believe that Marble Hornets absolutely deserves that title. Now, before I continue, I want to make something clear very quickly. If you haven't watched or finished watching Marble Hornets, you need to stop watching this right now and go do that. Not only because it's probably my favorite unfiction piece still. I'm going to be spoiling it here and talking about pretty endgame stuff. I'm not going to be limiting myself to anything that I talk about, so if you're worried about that kind of thing, and you should be, then stop watching this, do something better with your time, and go watch Marble Hornets. Please do yourself that favor. Thank you. Now that we've gotten all that out of the way, we could finally get into Marble Hornets and start talking about the sound design. So, this isn't something that you might have noticed, or you might have, but pretty much every sound in Marble Hornets is non-Foley and diegetic. If you don't know what diegetic means, the definition is occurring within the context of the story and able to be heard by the characters. So, for example, whenever Jay is walking in the forest and the leaves are crunching under his feet, then he can hear the leaves crunching under his feet. Something that is non-diegetic would be like a soundtrack or something that's playing that the characters can't hear. So, getting back to what I was saying about every sound being diegetic, this includes whenever somebody is coughing and the camera is glitching or what have you, because it is happening to the camera, and the characters in the story can play back the camera and hear the camera glitching. So it is still diegetic, it's just not diegetic in the moment. And this even extends to Totheark, because whenever Totheark is editing the videos together, they can hear the sounds that they are putting into the videos, no matter how processed or whatever they are. They're listening to those sounds and that music while they are editing it together. The only thing in the entire series that is non-diegetic is the credits, and I'll talk about those later. Now, we're going to be taking a quick ad break here in a minute. Before we do any of that, though, I want to give you a quick fun fact. So, the camera glitching, and really any of the glitching that we hear in Marble Hornets, is quite unique. I really haven't heard sounds like that from anywhere else, and I found out the reason for that while I was researching for the episode. Apparently, a lot of those sounds were taken from a synthesizer that Tim had made himself out of a Devo Energy Dome. And a Devo Energy Dome is a helmet worn by the American New Wave band called Devo, and it's kind of in the shape of like a ziggurat temple. So it's like a helmet. It was originally designed to be a helmet. Tim took that helmet and he added a bunch of buttons and he put a circuit board in there and some wires, and he made an actual legitimate instrument out of it. It sounds really, really weird. I love it to pieces. I would buy that in like a heartbeat. There is a video of Tim doing like a demonstration on his channel. I'm gonna put a link to it in the description so that you can go check it out whenever you get the chance. It is fascinating. Really, really fascinating. Okay, we're gonna do a quick ad break and we'll be right back. And we're back. Hope you had a nice little potty break there. So now we're going to start talking about the soundtrack for Marble Hornets. I'll start with the example that's probably the most well-known, which is the Marble Hornets trailer. Now, when I say the Marble Hornets trailer, I'm not talking about the YouTube channel. I'm talking about Alex Kralie's short film Marble Hornets trailer. It's really weird. If you haven't listened to it, I'm going to play it here. I'll provide a link for it in the description below so that you can watch it for yourself. So we're going to get started with it. It's awesome.
Brian, whenever an object enters the time stream, time starts to correct itself. Love is like, imagine 4 balls on the edge of a cliff.
Are you high right now?
Brian's back. I haven't seen that guy since high school.
Does Sarah know you're here?
You think you can just show up and I'll be here waiting for you?
Whenever I'm around other people, I feel like I'm wearing a mask to hide who I really am.
So why'd you come back?
I had to.
Was it because of Sarah?
I thought I'd be able to leave her behind along with the rest of this town, but I just can't seem to get her out of my head. I had the weirdest dream last night. This town just doesn't feel the same to me anymore. I missed it so much when I was in college. And now that I'm back, I just feel like a depressed teenager all over again, stuck in a loop of unhappiness.
You could sort of make the argument that this trailer is an extension of the the message of Marble Hornets in that, like, characters are trapping themselves in a loop of unhappiness. That's probably giving it more credit than it deserves, because it's just supposed to be like a stupid little trailer, but I wouldn't put it past the That Guys to put that in there. That reminds me, there is a fan recreation short film of Alex Kralie's Marble Hornets and what it would have looked like if he had finished it. It's like 23 minutes. It's incredible. Oh my god, it's so accurate. I love it to pieces. I'm going to put a link to it in the description as well. That's another link in the description. It's going to be a lot more. Trust me, there's going to be a lot of links in the description in this episode. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you go check it out if you've finished Marble Hornets. It is... it's so good, dude. Getting back to the soundtracks that we were talking about. That isn't the only official soundtrack piece in Marble Hornets. I'm sure a lot of you didn't even know that these pieces existed, but there is a guy on YouTube. His channel is Scorpius Music, but his real name is Robert Panico. I think that's how you pronounce it. I apologize if it is not. It is the official sanctioned THAC Marble Hornet soundtrack. They were all originally fan recreations, and then that guy saw it and they approved it for being the actual soundtrack for Marble Hornets, and they are all fantastic. There's no way to show them in the series except for the end credits, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So them being the official soundtrack isn't necessarily saying a whole lot, but I mean, if he could use them in the series, like in a diegetic fashion, they would absolutely fit right in. So there are 6 compositions in total, and yes, again, I will provide a link to them in the description. Today, I'm only going to be talking about 3, though, because I don't have all day, and these 3 are really my favorites out of all of them. So the first one that we're going to talk about is titled Jessica. I'm going to play them all the ones that I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be playing them in full here, and we're going to listen to them. I'd absolutely recommend you go listen to them on the original channel and give that man your views, because everything that he creates is fantastic. First of all, I want to say that is a really, really beautiful piece. The second thing I'd like to say is I think that rain is to signify Jessica either having something to do with To the Ark or being part of To the Ark, or just, something to do with rain being a general leitmotif in the series. I don't know. I don't know what he was going for, but either way, it doesn't matter. It's fantastic. Speaking of leitmotifs, that main melody is used in another piece that we'll be looking at in just a second here. I want to say that, so as you've watched Marble Hornets, I'm sure you have, we don't see a whole lot of Jessica. She's there for only a handful of episodes. She's quite an important part of the series. At least Jay thinks that she is. Despite not seeing her a whole lot and not getting to spend time with her much, I'd say that this song perfectly encapsulates the tragedy of her character, and that's how the description for the video that this is from describes it as. I think it's absolutely perfect. God damn, I wish they could have shown this off in the actual series. I don't know how they could have, but it's fantastic. It's really, really, really good. The next piece we'll be taking a look at is titled Jay's Obsession. So, once again, really, jeez, I can't say it enough. Really, really, really amazing piece. Fits the tragedy of Jay perfectly. I like the lilting sort of melody that starts out. It's sort of inquisitive, which, that is how Jay starts out. Inquisitive, curious, asking questions. And it ends up going to a very high energy place, matching the direction that Jay took. And ending with, oh god, dude, ending with a boom. A loud, echoing, but quiet, almost somber boom. God damn it. God damn it. Why? Why couldn't it? I'm gonna keep saying it, man. I'm sorry. Why? I wish it was. I'm glad we have this. I'm glad it's up for people to look at. It is really, really, really fantastic. So, the final piece that we're going to be talking about today is the season 3 end credits for Marble Hornets, and this is the only one that has actually shown up in the series in any official capacity, and it's on a DVD for Marble Hornets season 3 and Marble Hornets the whole series. Once again, we're going to listen to it really quickly, and then we're going to talk about it afterwards. So I chose the season 3 end credits, one because it's the only set of credits that have like a piano to them, and the piano is important to all the other pieces that this guy has composed. It also keeps that leitmotif going that I was telling you about before, and I'll talk about that more. I'll talk about that more in depth in a second. I also wanted to talk about it because, well, it's the end of the series. It's the season 3 end credits, and I think that's a good place to end it here, and end this part of the episode with that. It starts with the sounds of the woods, and it closes out with the sounds of the woods, and that's important because the woods are kind of the center of Marble Hornets. They spend a lot of their time in the woods. It represents the center of Marble Hornets, where all of the stuff that has happened with the group, where not only all of these bad things have happened, but where the good things had happened as well. It has a somber but nostalgic edge to it. And this brings me to the leitmotif. That leitmotif sort of encapsulated the tragedy of Jessica. The main part of her is how sad it is for her. By the end of it, she has no idea what's going on. Even if she was a part of Totheark at some point, I don't think she remembers it. She has no idea where she is. She has no idea. And the only connection that she has by the end of it is Tim. That's really, really, really sad. And I think using the leitmotif here is important because I think that leitmotif, rather than encapsulating just Jessica's tragedy, it's the leitmotif for the sadness that surrounds this group. These were just a group of friends who were coming together to make a short film, to spend time with each other, and it ends with, well, pretty much all of them dying for the most part. I mean, all of them dying depending on what your interpretation of the final episode is. And it captures that. And it is the perfect way to end Marble Hornets as a series. Perfect way to close it out. Well, besides watching the fan-made Alex Kralie's Marble Hornets, but that's neither here nor there. That's up to your own discretion as whether you want to watch that at the end or not. We're moving into the final part of this episode, which is talking entirely about Totheark. It's inspired pretty much every ARG and codes and any kind of creepy imagery like that in any unfiction piece ever. Like Meat Sleep, Abstractions, Auspicio Omnium, Cave of Shadows, CHSS, Knock Plus 10, pretty much every Slenderverse antagonist. Not to mention the potential hundreds of smaller examples that I don't even remember off the top of my head right now, or don't even know about. I have to say that I'm pretty sure Totheark still does it the best. Every single video on that channel has meaning that can be extrapolated even without doing any decoding, even without sitting there in front of your computer and decoding everything or whatever method you would use. The codes are secondary to the story of Totheark, which I think is something that a lot of unfiction pieces and ARGs miss even now. I'm going to be talking about 3 of the episodes. I'm probably going to do another episode of Unfictional Soundscape just on Totheark. Hell, you could probably do an entire podcast series that is just talking about the sound design and soundtrack in Totheark. There's a lot to unpack. So I'm just going to talk about 3 examples, and then we're going to end it for today. So the first one we're going to be listening to and then talking about is Conversion. So that song that was playing in the background is a shortwave radio station's interval signal, which also doubles as the national anthem for Monaco. I'm going to play that really quickly. So just a quick definition, a list of definitions if you don't know. Shortwave radio is basically just radio that travels long distances used for voice and music broadcast. That is extremely layman's terms, but that's just all you need to know for this thing in particular. And an interval signal is a sound or a piece of music that is used in international broadcasting and by some domestic broadcasters that is played before a commencement or during breaks in transmission. So, like, it's used to warn you that they're about to say something or something is about to happen. So, first of all, I'm not sure who is speaking for, like, that muffled talk that's happening like while that mouth is talking in the corner. I have no idea who that is. I might have to sit down and listen to it some more, and maybe if I find anything out, I'll tell you guys later. I also did not realize that I stole the final line from this episode. When I do the, remember to look behind you thing, that's just a thing that me and my friends say to each other sometimes, and I completely forgot that was the last line in this, so that was not intentional. The final code, by the way, if you're not aware, says never cured, never trust, never, which I'm sure you're aware is a reference to entry 74 when Jay's kind of walking around all wobbly like that. It's basically just Totheark telling him that you're never going to be cured. You're fucked forever. Now, when Nick did his cover of Marble Hornets in his videos, he talked about how this video was probably created by Seth. It's probably right. I don't see who else it could have been. It might have been Brian, but he doesn't usually do this kind of thing. At least as far as I'm aware, it's usually pretty cohesive from him. So, he's probably right. Yeah, I agree. It's probably Seth. I also want to point out that this is the last time that we see that kind of like red coloring that happens. So the next thing, the next episode that we're going to be talking about is Quadrant. So this one's kind of whiplashy, even like not looking at it from an audio perspective, just in general. It's like going like at 1,000,000 miles per hour and it only lasts like 30 seconds. I think that's to represent whoever made this video's anxiety. Nick had talked about how whoever made this video, they were kind of losing faith in what they were working for, what they were fighting for, and yeah, that sounds about right. The little tones that are playing throughout this is a reference to Three Blind Mice, which is to represent, probably represents Tim, Jay, and Brian, or whoever created this video. The last code is, who am I? Am I the third? I cannot help. Also, that talk that's going on in the background there, it's really slowed down so you can't really hear it, but it says, hold your formation, do not do this, hold off, stay put. Then it says, everyone is going to, and it ends with, he didn't know how to leave. So whoever made this video knew exactly what was going to end up happening to Jay. The background music sounds like the Silent Hill soundtrack. I wanted to point that out as well. I don't know if anybody else noticed that. This video could be from anybody. If you want my opinion, I think it's Brian. I mean, he's the one who was the closest by the end of it, who was there with them. Well, at least there with Tim at the very end of this part of the series, and I think it would make the most sense for him. Whoever it is, well, they really fell for Jay, as they should. I also wanted to talk about one little visual that I never seen anybody talk about. I think it's really weird. I think that it's of the man's face, and it looks like there's something in like his mouth. It's like spinning around. I think that's a knife. I think that's kind of to represent the truth and how it is hard to swallow. It's very on the nose, but if I was to make a guess for anything, I'd think it's that. And I think that final face there looks like Brian, which could be more reason to think that it's Brian that made this one. All right. The final video that we're going to be talking about today, the thing that's going to close out everything, is Null. My favorite Totheark video. Let's listen to it really quickly. God damn, I get chills every time I watch that video. I've listened to it like at least 50 times at this point, and I still have no idea what that whistling is that's playing, that's sprinkled throughout the video. I think it could either be the wind, it might be screaming, somebody's yelling in the distance, or it could be a bird. I don't know. I have no idea what it is. After listening to it a couple of times, I've noticed it sounds like the very underlying background noise, the ambient noise in this, sounds like driving. And I think I hear somebody breathing out at some point in the video. Maybe that's the wind. I don't know, but it sounds a lot like the driving whenever we're getting a recap episode, and that makes sense. Final thing, I'm sure you're aware by now, the final code says, "Regards, Brian." Hauntingly beautiful. Absolutely fantastic. I could write essays on why this video is so perfect and a perfect end to Totheark. It really emphasizes the somber, the quietness, the dead silence that precedes the next video that happens right after it. It emphasizes Brian knowing that this is going to be his last run. He knows that this is the end. He knows where he's going, and he knows what he's about to do, and this is his goodbye. This is his suicide note. It is absolutely my favorite Totheark video, hands down. So, my final thoughts. I absolutely love Marble Hornets, and so should you. I'm pretty sure it's still my favorite unfiction piece out of any that I've consumed so far. I think it's my favorite because it has a clear beginning, middle, and end. It has a very strong emotional core at the center of it. It has a very solid message about mental health and how it really can't ever be cured. And all you can do is try to live with it and grow from it. And, well, I think the main part is that it actually ended. I'm very likely going to do another Marble Hornets episode in the future. Not very likely, I am going to do another Marble Hornets episode in the future. I don't know when, but it's going to happen. I'm very excited for it. Again, talk about it some more. And if you haven't watched Marble Hornets and this was your introduction to the series, then please watch it before I put out that episode. So, thank you all so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're listening to this on YouTube. Make sure to follow me on Twitter. I post memes and give updates to whenever something's going to be coming out soon. If you're not following me on Twitter or YouTube or Anchor or on Spotify, and you're listening from either one of those, then Go ahead and follow all of my other social media accounts. Be sure to especially follow my YouTube because I am uploading weekly projects there every week. Today was no different, and neither will next week. Remember to share this with people that you think might like this kind of stuff, might like a guy rambling in front of a microphone about a series that he really likes. And I'm going to be doing a new segment here on the Unfictional Soundscape. Send me some requests or questions that you have via my email, agentidaho@gmail.com. That is ag3ntidAho@gmail.com, or send me a message or whatever on Twitter or YouTube. Next episode, if I have enough questions, I'll be doing a viewer consulting sort of segment. Next time, we're going to be doing an interview, and it's going to be with a very, very good friend of mine. I'm very excited for it. I'm excited to sit down and have a talk with them. Thank you all again so much for stopping by. Remember to look behind you, and take care. And take care. And take care. And take care. And take care.